Welcome back to The Person Everyone Needs. We are continuing our conversations with the 10-year-old, and today in my kitchen studio, I have the greatest guest I will ever have. Today, my wife, Amanda, is going to be on the podcast. And so what we're going to be talking about today is what she would say to herself if she was 10, and then to all the 10-year-olds we know. I don't know what we're going to talk about, so I'm just excited to have her with me. Without her, this dream would have never come true of this podcast. So I'm excited to have our first conversation together on The Person Everyone Needs. Amanda, welcome to The Person Everyone Needs.
I have no idea how it took my husband like 65 episodes to ask me to be on his podcast, but my socks are completely blown off that I finally get to be here and share a little bit of all the wisdom I've gained from being around him.
I'm aiming this at a 10-year-old, so I thought you finally had something to input.
Absolutely. 10-year-olds only. That's the cap of my wisdom.
Well, Amanda, tell us what you would say to your 10-year-old self.
I thought of this in 3 different realms, so I'm going to give you the 3 different ways. I thought, first of all, what would I say to my very own 10-year-old self? And then I thought, what would I say to 10-year-olds today? And then I thought, what would I say to my very own 10-year-old, Luke? And so starting with myself, what would I say to myself at 10 years old? I was obsessed with what everybody else was capable of, what they could do, where they lived, the sports that they played and were good at, the grades they got that I didn't, the clothes they could wear, all their gifts and talents. And I seemed to always notice other people noticing them. And it sparked in me, oh, maybe if I was more like them, I would be noticed. Maybe if I was better at this, that, or the other, I would be noticed. And so I'd always try to excel at things that I saw other people excelling at. So if I was talking to my 10-year-old self, I would want to say, just because somebody shines differently than you do doesn't mean you have less to offer.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
Just because somebody shines differently than you do doesn't mean you have less to offer.
Are you your 40-year-old self listening to that right now?
I'm working on it. I'm not 40 yet, bruh.
Okay, sorry.
Give me my month and change, please. But I just wish I had taken more time to actually find out who I was and what I had to offer and enjoy it. Not just hone it, not just work on it, not just lean into it, but actually enjoy the gifts and the interests that the Lord gave me, instead of looking at everybody else and trying to become more like them because they were getting accolades. Right. There's no telling who I would have become or what I would have brought into the world if I would have started that at 10 years old instead of kind of watching everybody else.
Well, if you'd have met your potential, you would have been out of my league. So I'm
Thank God.
I mean, you are out of my league and all, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought of that first, and then I thought about 10-year-olds today. I thought about how often I have to fight with students at our school to get their phones out of their hands. Even this past week, it was our last week of school, and 6th grade was having a water party. They were playing slip and slide kickball outside. It's a big day.
Right.
Like, they got to wear shorts, guys. And if anybody knows, it's a Christian school, and
you didn't even ask me about that.
I did not. Basically, these kids have been wearing like neckties for the last
oh my gosh
50 years.
Okay,
I'm just kidding. But I allowed them to dress, to play in the water. And they came to me before they go outside for slip and slide kickball, and they're like, hey, can we have our phones? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they were like, well, we just want our phones so we can, record stuff and play with our phones outside while we're playing. And I was like, absolutely not. Put your phone down. You have a half day of school. Please embrace the last phoneless 4 hours that you're going to have for the whole summer. And so I would want to say to 10-year-olds today, please get out of the virtual world and into the real world as fast as you can. Get off your phone, get off your tablet. Please, if your parents have let you have social media, I know they love you, but we love you too. Get off social media. Please get off social media. I promise you, it's rotting your brain. It's rotting your self-confidence. It is not good for you. Get out of there. Run as fast as you can and check into the real world.
Now, do you realize that you sound like an old person when you say things like that?
I
Why do you think that's so important?
I think it's important because you're not even realizing the world that's around you is reality. I remember sitting in a high school classroom on 9/11, September 11th, 2001. I was sitting in my junior history class. And as we watched on the TV screen bodies tumbling out of windows because they were jumping to their death rather than be burned to death, I remember hearing students sitting in that room and laughing. They were laughing. And it made me realize their brains honestly could not connect that what they were watching was reality because it was on a screen. And to think that that was 23 years ago and what it's going to be for these kids who have spent 10, 12 hours a day on a screen of some sort through all their formative years, get out of the virtual world and into the real world as fast as you possibly can.
How could it even be fun if it's not documented? I mean, really, like
It's true.
Like unless you've got your phone out taking pictures that you'll never go back and look at. How many concerts have I been to and been like, oh, this is my favorite song. Instead of enjoying my favorite song, I'm making sure I get a good shot of it.
Right.
When if I really wanted to hear it again, it's my favorite song because it was recorded somewhere. So what if I just sat back in my seat and actually took in the moment, take a couple of pictures to remember that I was there? But why do we feel like we have to video or not just document, but also inform the world? Hey, I took 14 steps this direction out of a Taco Bell. Everybody ought to know that.
Well, we have to document it all because we are so absent from our actual lives and so disconnected. There's such a dissonance between our experience in reality and our phone life that we honestly probably won't remember that experience. So if it's not on our phone for us to go back and look at, we won't remember that it happened.
Is it because we have so many experiences?
And it's also because they're all virtual. It has to be virtual or our virtual world is our real world. So if we don't upload it there, it's like it doesn't exist.
So let me get real preachery about this. So are you telling me that we are having so many experiences in our life that we are a mile wide and an inch deep because none of them are actually creating any roots in who we are? We care a lot more about the likes that we get on our even the scripture that we would post on our social media stuff. We care more about that than the actual meeting the God who created heaven and earth by ourselves. Like we would care more that we got likes or hearts than we were the fact that we can go into the throne room of Almighty God whenever we want to, and that's not enough for us.
Yes, because we don't know how to do anything without an audience. Everything has to have an audience or it's not real. And so as we drive down the road and we yell at our kids, turn off your tablet and look out the window. Look at the trees. Watch the birds. They're like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Y'all don't remember riding down the road and watching raindrops and seeing which one would win.
Who's going to win?
Coming down the window.
Yes.
And playing I Spy, playing the alphabet game, just looking at your world. I want to see 10-year-olds do that again.
Thinking my own thoughts.
Having the courage to get bored. Please have the courage to get bored. You're terrified of what's going to happen if you get bored, but I promise you it's the only place that creativity comes from. And it's the place satisfaction comes from, too, because when you finally get bored, you realize who's really there for you. You start seeing that Jesus is always there.
It's hard to really be grateful in your life if you never let yourself get bored.
It's true.
Like, you watch hours upon hours of screens, you don't wake up out of that with gratitude. You wake up wanting more control in the real world. In fact, that's probably why we run. I was noticing my son the other day was telling me he wanted a VR, virtual reality. And I was just like, can you just enjoy some reality first? Like, why do you need a virtual? And then he was talking about his cousin who has a gorilla game, and he plays like a couple hours of just running around as a gorilla with his hands on the ground,
knuckles down.
Yeah, which I mean that sounds fun, but I'm like, you could run with your knuckles down in the yard.
It's true. We used to make these things up in our brain and then play them out.
That's right. I don't have the imagination anymore, and neither do my kids. So if you could gather all the 10-year-olds together, that's what you would say is, let's get off of...
Run. Get out of the virtual world and into the real world as quickly as you can. And finally, if I was talking to my very own 10-year-old Luke, Webb and I have kind of created a neurotic child because we have tried to over-prepare him. We always have him thinking ahead. We always have him processing. And so I really wish in some way I could tell him, enjoy your childhood and don't rush. Live in the moment and stop trying so hard on the things that are future and try hard on the things that are now. He said to us the other day, he was singing a song, and he said, do you think there's a singing competition I could enter? Everything for him is like, I have to do this and master it and be the best at it and show myself. Luke, I just want you to enjoy some things. Do some things for the heck of it. And when somebody's like, why do you do that? You just say, because it's fun. Because I enjoy it. Not everything has to either get you notoriety or make you successful or one day make you money. Not everything has to be a product. Some things of life can simply be for the joy of it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your childhood.
Sorry I did that to you, buddy.
I do blame your dad.
Yeah.
He has zero YOLO. Your mom has way too much YOLO.
No doubt.
But your dad has zero.
Between the bipolarism of your parents, you've got a lot to deal with, my friend. Well, Amanda, I have enjoyed having you on my podcast.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the invite, finally.
Thank you for letting me be the person thank you. Thank you for breathing life into the dream I had of starting The Person Everyone Needs. It would not exist without you. And so thank you for your love for me and taking care of our family and breathing life into all that we do and dreaming. And I will definitely have you here again, maybe when we do a marriage thing or something like that, and you can talk about all the things I've messed up. So
that'd be awesome. They need to be documented, that's for sure. No, he does this podcast, The Person Everyone Needs, because we at least know he is the person the four of us needed. So thank you for becoming that man consistently day after day. What he says on here, he means he does not wake up any day aimless and without a direction to grow or get better. He does it every day, no matter how annoying it is. He does it every day. So you should follow him. I can vouch for that.
Wow. Well, I hope you'll become the person everyone needs.
Me too.